Very warm welcome to all of you for the online embedded systems course. This is an online, I would say, day batch because in the online course we have two modes. One is the day mode and then the evening mode. So this is the day mode. And my name is Jai Kumar, and I'm one of the core leadership team members in Emertxe. I'll be taking you through the entire journey of how this course is going to get delivered, and how you'll be get an opportunity to learn and improve your skills, and also build an impressive resume. And of course, we need to talk about placements, right? What are the recent thing that's happening in the placement side, and also how we see the job market shaping up, and how you can utilize this opportunity to build a career in the core segment, etc. Right? We'll go through a very detailed presentation, and time to time I'll pause and take your questions. Logically, this presentation is divided into three segments. One is the first one is about the overall placement trends and updates. The second one is about how the course is going to get delivered. And third, we'll again come back and talk about placements and how some of the nitty-gritties and the process about the placements. Even though I'll pause at logical intervals. In the meantime, if you get any questions, you don't need to wait for me to initiate the question. You can keep typing in the chat window. Let us use the chat window for our communication, because even I turn on camera, sometimes the connection goes bad and you are not able to hear or see me properly. So let us optimize the bandwidth. Request all of you to be in mute and only use your chat window for the communication. Okay, so that would be a simple protocol. And in the meantime, Asma is confirming all joined. So thank you, Asma. Anyways, I will proceed and take up the session. Okay, so let me put the slide in the presentation mode and then get started. Okay. So once again, very warm welcome to all of you for this induction class. Okay. So let us go for a brief introduction about Emertxe, myself, and all the folks in the room today. As you all know, Emertxe is a tech company. Our focus is to skill engineers and make them employable, and also work with working professionals who wanted to improve their skills and get ahead in their career. We run upskilling programs. Sometimes these upskilling programs are all asked by the companies who want to skill their employees. So we work with them and then make them employable. And from the beginning, we have been working in this domain of embedded systems. And before even the word called IoT got coined, we built some solutions and products in the areas like industrial automation, agriculture automation, etc. For quite good amount of time, we had two areas of focus for education and training programs. We're building some products also. But later in the year 2014-15 timeline, we thought having a too focused area is not good for a company. So we decided to pivot from the product development and completely went into education. So that's what we do as an organization. And we are the people who have work experience by working with various organizations, and we are really passionate about imparting knowledge in engineers and make them employable. And we derive a lot of satisfaction and happiness when we see you people getting into jobs, you get the right set of guidance and improve your skills, and of course, get into a job. So it gives a lot of pleasure for us in that process. So we've been doing this over the years. And one beautiful thing, even though we all face a lot of challenges due to pandemic, is that students getting adapted to online learning, right? So that way our program is also delivered online, this particular embedded systems program. Because 2 years back, if you would ask, what about doing a live, by the way, our entire embedded systems course is delivered as a live session. Even though we give the recording session to all the students, it is pretty much a live session. Delivering a live session, and that too, taking care of some of the challenges like hardware access or doubt clearing, etc. We would not have imagined, right? Not only that, this program is very much an outbound or rather output driven program. For example, all the participants are expecting you to either get into first job, or you're already having a job, you wanted to get into a better job, right? That way there's a lot of responsibility on both our side, your side as well as our side. And doing it in online, we all had our own set of questions, right? But over the period of last 18 to 24 months, our team is able to successfully resolve all the challenges, be it hardware access, be it doubt clearing, be it delivering this particular course, because remotely learning this course, and that too, this is a quite a long-term course, right? It's about a 5-month course. Doing it is quite challenging, that to sitting in a room inside your house, right? All of you will be from different parts of the country. Some of you, could be different outside India as well, right? So those challenges have been resolved. And one of the key other thing has happened on the placement side is that today more than 95% of the companies are hiring online. Okay, so which means to say you don't need to worry that for example, you're not able to come to Bangalore, or you're not able to physically learn. In terms of placement, it remains the same. There are very few companies who are asking our students to come physically. Some of them may be doing only for the final round and things like that, right? Having said that, the entire selection process happens via the online mode only. Right? That's the beauty that we are able to transition thanks to pandemic. I know a lot of challenges we faced. Some of them, even lost the near and dear ones. A lot of economic, erosion also has happened. But with respect to the online learning, right, this is one positive thing that have happened, right? And Emertxe is one of the accredited, institution or training partner with the Government of India's Skill India, initiative. Skill India aims to skill the youth of this country in various domains, which also includes electronics, embedded systems, etc. That's what we are partnered with. And we work with an organization called Electronic Sector Skill Council of India, or short form known as ESSCA, which comes under National Skill Development Corporation and NSDC, where this particular course, the students who are taking this course will also get an opportunity to get certification from Government of India. Right. Okay. So I'll show you some of the certificates towards the end of the thing. And due to pandemic, again there have been challenges in conducting the certification exam because majority of them want online, etc. So there were some challenges and also there is a lot of organization restructuring happening in the ESSCA side, and we were able to resolve it. And this week the certification process again got initiated. Good number of students are applying for it. Hopefully by next week or so we should go for the next assessment from the ESSCA panel. So that's what we do with respect to mm, with respect to ESSCA and certification, right? About a company overview, right? So just to add a bit about introduction about myself, as I said, my name is Jay Kumar. I have more than 20 years of work experience. In the initial 12 and a half years of my career, I worked with three different organizations. Started with a startup called Ishoni Networks. Worked in the networking area of the broadband router product. Started off as a test engineer and moved on to building some of the features and solutions of Ishoni's broadband device, right? Then subsequently moved on to HP Hewlett Packard. Spent about 7.5 years, developing the connectivity networking firmware, because my first company came from the networking connectivity area. So I continued in that area, built various pieces of the firmware which gets into the embedded printer, right, which include device driver, middleware, the network abstraction layer, application, etc. So after 7.5 years, or towards the back end of my career with HP, I was a manager there, project cum program manager, managing a team which was working in the firmware development on one side, and another side, another team was integrating the entire printer into the cloud. So we are working on such solutions. Right? It was a great experience being part of one organization for 7.5 years. And after HP, I moved on to Huawei Technologies. Huawei, many of you know, is a Chinese telecommunication company, and they make a lot of different networking and telecommunication products, starting from a small dongle all the way up to complex, enterprise routers. So I joined as a senior manager or a group manager in that organization. Somebody is making some noise. Let me just see. I think it's Gauri. Let me mute her. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's how I ended up in Huawei, and I was involved in a team, managing a team of about 60 engineers who were working on customizing Linux for various Huawei's product lines, more of an embedded Linux team. And that kind of, I was there for about 3.5 years, right? If you look at the mathematics, right, 2 years in my first company, about 7.5 years in second company, and about 3.5 years in the third company. So 12.5 years, passed by, and and then the question comes, what next, right? So right from my college days, I was really passionate about the education side of it. I come from a family of educators, and and I'm qualified as an engineer, right? So I thought, why don't we combine something and create something worthwhile? And that's where Emergee happened. So Emergee started by my friend, way back in 2003. You can see in the slide. Then I had plans to move on from a corporate to an entrepreneurial setup. That's where I quit my corporate career in the year 2013, came and joined as one of the full-time leadership team member in 2014 onwards. So it's been about 8 years. So here in Emergee, I played almost all the variety of roles. Started off in the technical team as a mentor. I still do few of the workshops. These are workshops, these type of induction classes, etc. Then I moved on to the placement team, and then building the entire clientele base. Right now we have 1,200 plus companies which are hiring. We'll talk about it in detail, right? And then now we have a team which takes care. And then subsequently, that continues to be my main responsibility, placements. And in the recent past, I have taken some more responsibilities on the business side of the organizations. So that's what I do, and it's been a pleasure to meet all of you. I always tell in all my webinars, induction classes, monthly meeting, everywhere, right? The slides remain the same, right? Basically, the type of questions that you guys ask and the interaction is what makes it interesting for me. And because except for a few slides, the entire content will remain the same. Okay, so that way, it's been a pleasure to have you as a part of this particular induction class, and also to be part of this particular skill building journey. It's going to be quite a long program, because skill building is not easy. It takes time to transition yourself, right? So that way, I would definitely say you've taken the right decision by joining this course. I sincerely hope you will be able to work on your skill building and achieve the success story what you might have seen in so many other students are able to achieve, right? So that's a brief about Emergee and myself, right? So before we move on to the next, as I said, the first piece we'll talk about the placement thing, right? I would request all of you to briefly introduce yourself in the chat window itself, right? Type your name and which college or which place you are coming from, right? And then you can type about for example, if you have any work experience, you can mention that, so that we'll get to know each other, right? Unlike webinar, some of you might have attended. I'll check that as well. And this is like a very much like a go-to meeting where we here lesser set of people meet here. So you can see each other's typing coming in the chat window. So that way, one important thing of being a part of the same batch is to get to know each other, because some of you may be together, even not only in the batch, even when you start working, right? It's very normal that two students or more than two students from the same batch getting recruited by the same company, right? So that is also possible. So it's important for you guys also to get to know each other. Okay. So with that note, I would request all of you to go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm seeing Madhav is typing his first message. Okay. Go ahead and type, introduce yourself. Okay. So type. Go ahead, guys, and type. Okay, we have Sandeep. So Sandeep BTech in Prasad V. Potluri College, Vijayawada, coming from Rajam, Andhra Pradesh. Good to know, Sandeep. It's also be good if you can type your year of pass out. Which year did you completed engineering? Then we have Anand Hosalli. Maybe we'll wait to hear more about Anand. Okay, Sandeep is a 2022 password. Okay, it's just a recent year. I think the exams are getting over. We just started seeing the 2022 students, coming up. Glad to see that. Let us wait for others. Go ahead, guys. Please type few lines about yourself. Okay. So we have Natia from Bangalore, and she is having 3+ years of experience in image processing, then 2 years of teaching experience back to industry. Okay, very good. Good to know. We do have good amount of career transition stories, Natia. Recently, a similar person like you, she was, I don't remember, I think her name is Namrata. I don't recall it exactly. She was also having a teaching experience. She was able to transition. So it's very well possible. Then we have Sudarshan Kataru. Sudarshan is telling Andhra Pradesh, completed my graduation in, ECE, Malla Reddy College of Engineering 2022. Good to know. I'm seeing more messages are coming in. Mandar, let us see. Okay, so many things coming up. Let me see. Mandar. So Mandar from Karad, Maharashtra, did masters from Power Electronics and Drives at VIT Vellore, 2022 pass out. Okay, good to know, Mandar. Okay, from VIT. Then we have Madhav Vardi, completed BTech in 2021 from Gates Institute of Technology, Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh. Good to know. A college in Hyderabad, says Sudarshan. Then we have Ashwini, biomedical engineer, passed out in 2020. Have experience of about 1.5 years. Used to work as a startup M16 Lab as an implementation specialist. Later moved on to Cerner Corporation as an implementation specialist. All right. So Ashwini, are you still working or you quit your job? So that will give me a better idea. Then we have Ruba Manikandan from Tamil Nadu. She has graduated and completed her M.Tech, completed in the year 2017 and had a work experience in Wipro for 2 years. Okay, so Ruba, did you take a break due to some personal reasons? Most of the girl student I see, they take break, either due to family, or marriage. Is that the same reason? You can put it in the window. Then we have Pratik Davare, completed M.Tech from VNIT Nagpur in June 2022. Okay, great. Okay, we have a lot of VITs and NIT students coming here. Then we have, Tausif Khan, Saudagar, passed out in 2021 from Vidya Vartaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, ISC branch. I'm from Karnataka. Good to know, Tausif. It will be good if you can tell me what you've been doing for the last 1 year. Then we have Rohit Kumar, BR Electronics and Communication Engineering from UBDT College of Engineering, Davangere, 2020. Currently, I'm working in Infosys as a system engineer deployed as a RBS IT solution. Okay, good to know, Rohit. Would you be able to manage these timings? Because this is a day batch. Or I'm not sure. You may be working in shift system. Maybe you can let me know in the chat. Then Ashwini is saying, no, sir, I quit my job last month to take a career in core medical field. All right. Okay, great. So Ruba is telling, yes, sir, I had a career break. Good. Okay, I could sense that. Okay. Again, Rohit Kumar. Then here, Gauri. Completed my BE Triple E from MAM College of Engineering in 2012. Wow. And then I have completed my ME in Power Electronics and Drives in 2015. I'm having 5 years of teaching experience in engineering college as assistant professor. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of professors and lecturers are coming up. As you can see, a couple of them are coming from teaching experience here. Right. Good to know, Gauri. Okay. Thanks for joining the course. So yeah, Funny did my BTech from BVC Institute of Technology, Electronics and Communication graduate, 2019. I'm from Amalapuram. It would be good, Pani, what you've been doing from 2019. Good to know. If you can tell me, it will be good. So we have Jyoti Sahu, Pune, BTech in 2011. Wow. And then MTech in VLSA 2015. Then experience 3.5 years as assistant professor. Okay. So here goes the third professor in the group, right? So then you also took a break, Jyoti, after I think, are you currently working? It will be good to if you can share that information as well. Okay, then Nathia says, yes, sir, I too quit my job, shift industry. Okay, great. Okay, because if you're working and doing, it will be quite challenging, right? If you're quit that way, it's in a way it's good because you can dedicate the entire time for the course. That's the reason I'm asking, right? So Rohit Kumar is asking, sir, can you please repeat that again? So Rohit, you said you are working in Infosys, if I'm not wrong, right? I would like to know whether you are still working or you quit your job. Okay. Then Anand Hosarli,
Yes, sir, I'm
Vijapur
currently.
Parcel. Okay, you can type Rohit. Okay. Vijapur, pass out year 2019. 1 year of experience in quality engineer in industry. Okay. Then we have Madhuri Yogi from Rajasthan. I have done my BTech from Institute of Engineering and Technology, Alwar, Rajasthan. Okay. So, Madhuri, it will be good if you can tell me what you've been doing from 2019. Then we have Sultana Najib. She's from Kerala, completed BTech ECE 2019 from Rajagiri College of Engineering. Currently working as a QA engineer at Cognizant, 2.5 years of experience. So you're still working, Sultana, and doing this course along with that. Okay. Then we have Durga Pasumarthi. Durga is telling, hope you're doing good. Durga Prasad pursuing masters in microelectronics, London. Okay, hope this time zone works out for you, Durga. Because as I said, people join from abroad. I have seen them joining in the evening slot, around 7 p.m. slot. I don't know what's the time now. It's like 11, 12. Okay, it should be maybe a little early in the morning. I hope that works out for you. Then we have Mega, a completed electrical electronics engineer in 2020. Okay, Jyoti is telling I had a career break. Then we have Kajal Vaidya from Nagpur, Maharashtra, Electronics and Communication from JD College of Engineering Management 2018. I'm taking tuition classes. Okay, got it. Right. Then Sachin, BTech in Triple E, Archer Institute of Technology 2020 batch. Sachin, it would be good if you can tell me what you've been doing since then from 2020. Then Mega completed electrical and electronics engineering in 2020. I'm from Karnataka. Okay. So people who have typed, you are from 2020, I would say 2021 and before, right? 2019, 18. It'd be good if you can tell me what you've been doing, whether you prepared for some exams or you took a break due to personal reasons. I think some of you told, some of you are not. Please go ahead and put the reason also. As I already mentioned, the purpose of asking that to get to know that how much time you can give it for this course on a daily basis. The more time you are able to give, the better the results would be. Okay, that's the spirit in which it is being asked. Okay, so hope all of you has introduced. Let me quickly check. Gauri, I don't know. Harshal, not sure you whether introduced yourself. Madhav, Madhuri, Mandar, Megha, Natya, Funny. Pratik, I'm not sure whether you introduced yourself. Searching, I think pretty much apart from that, all of you have introduced. Okay. So, couple of more questions before I move on to next slide. Okay. One question is like, we typically host a course demo webinar on a monthly basis. And just before the batch starts, we host me, myself, and my colleague Mubin host a webinar so that we get to know and meet people who are aspirants for this course and give them a broad career perspective and also answer some queries about the course, etc. Right. So I would like to know how many of you attended that webinar. If you attended, just say yes, type yes, otherwise say no. So let me see how many of you attended. Answer should be yes or no. Okay. Jyoti says yes, Ashwini says no, Mandar says no, Gauri says no. Okay. Okay, Durga, Rohit, Sultana. Okay. Can others also respond? Okay. Tausif, Natia. Sandeep says yes. Okay. So one, two, three of you, three or four of you attended, looks like. Okay. Then Sudarshan is saying, but not this month, the previous 2 months. Okay. You attended 2 months. Okay, great. Then Madhuri is saying no. Okay, no problem. We host it every month. I just want to check how many of you attended, right? The other question before I move on, okay, and similar question to this, right? How did you come to know about Emertxe? Right? Is it like you did a Google search or some friend told you or you saw in social media? So how did you come to know about Emertxe? Can you type your source in the chat again, once again? Social media, says Durga. I've done internship in September, says Sudarshan. Okay, great. Then Google, my friend, one of my friend Google, social media, my friend referred me. Okay, friend told. Okay, Google search. Okay. Many of my friends already got trained in ECP, says Rohit. Google search. One of my alumni suggested. Okay, great. Okay. So largely, two areas where people come. One is like people search about us in Google, and some of them, and then told, you can see, right, Pratik, my senior got placed in Continental last year, right? So, they kind of, there's this person who is placing and he go and tell his friends, family, juniors, they join, or people search in Google. But I'm seeing, good to see that, some responses coming from the social media also, right? Nathia till through my friend who joined Honeywell, right? I think, great. So social media, I'm seeing more, right? Good to know that. Okay. So thank you very much. Right. My point is, if you see one of the other reason why I make you to introduce in this particular meeting is to also give you a perspective of how different you are. We have at least one or two of them from 2022 pass out, right? As I said, still they're writing exams. They're still not out yet. Majority of the colleges due to pandemic, the semester timelines got shifted and things like that, right? And second, if you look at right, large number of them are from 2021, 2020, 18, 19 like that, and some of you from relatively older batch, like something like 2012 or something like that, right? So you all come from different era pass out. You all come from different qualification experience. So some of them have some teaching experience. Some of them have what you call some IT kind of experience. Some of you don't have any experience, right? Okay. So the point is, right, none of these factors matter, okay, because the companies who are coming to hire from Emertxe, they mainly focus on the skill part of it. Okay. So not much into era pass out or how much CGPA percentage you scored in your engineering, right? So we are going to change the rules of the game. We tell in every induction. So gone are the days you are going to get measured by era pass out or your academic percentage, right? Because especially if you're from older batch, this will always be in your mind, right? Saying that I'm from an older batch, will I get enough opportunity, right? The older you are, the more worried you would be, right? And even in 2021, if you are right, you will be thinking, hey, my junior is going to come out, right? Already you can see some students from 2022 have joined. They may be thinking that I'll be losing my fresher tag, what would I do? Will I get enough opportunity and things like that, right? Do you agree with me, all of you? The older the batch you are, the worry would be high. Do you agree with me? Okay, Gauri says yes. Yes, says Madhav. Yeah, it's a obvious answer, right? All of you are telling yes for that, right? So the point is, from emergency side, you don't need to worry about this, right? You can be from any era pass out, as long as you have first class in engineering, right? 60% or CGPA and above, that should be fine. Okay, you'll not have any issue with respect to opportunities that are coming in the job market. Okay, so with that note, let me move on and give you guys about some of the high level, because some of you have attended my webinar. Few slides may be little repetitive because some of the slides we go in deep. Whatever is not there in the in the webinar, we'll be going it in quite deeply. But there are few slides which may be repetitive. I request you to be on patient, right, so that others can listen in. Right? So what is happening, right? As I said, we'll first discuss about job market trends because I lead the placement team right in Emertxe. Um, Right, first and foremost thing is tremendous momentum in the job market. Okay? Companies are struggling to hire skilled talent. Right? And a skill like embedded system is not something people can obtain just like that. Okay, I asked this question even yesterday. We had an induction. There was a offline batch which we started. I asked the same question to students. Right. Okay. If you go and see in any nook and corner of the country, right, even outside India, you may find a lot of institutions, like a lot of even finishing schools or online courses are available for the application side. For example, if you want to learn Java, .NET, right, or any other similar technologies, even if you go to a small town in India, you'll find training coaching institute, right? But you will not find any institute which is teaching embedded systems, IoT, these type of technologies. Even if you come and see in cities like Bangalore, it will be very less number of institutions, right? The idea why I'm telling you this point is to understand that teaching and learning embedded systems is not easy. Right? It requires a good amount of time to be invested, a good amount of effort need to be put in, because the nature itself is like that. It involves hardware. You need to know a little bit about hardware aspect of it, and you need to program in C, really the advanced aspects of C, right? And you need to know a lot of operating system concept and so on and so forth, right? So it is quite challenging. That's also a reason why this skill will be in demand, right? The easier to, for example, IT skills, right? IT skills are something which is easily trainable, so there'll be more people. The demand may not be that high, right? Or even if the demand is high, the salary levels may not be that high, right? Because if you look at core, the salary is also looking very good. In fact, as people move from one job to another job, the kind of salary raises they're getting is been really, really good. Okay, so overall, the job market looks very, very optimistic. Right? Even a bigger companies, you can say MNCs, companies who are well known. Okay, some of you mentioned about my friend got placed in Continental, or my friend got placed in Honeywell, etc. Right? Even these organizations are looking to hire beyond certain top campuses, right? If you look at these companies, they typically will have a set of campuses or the colleges which would be already pre-listed, right? So they will typically hire from those colleges. Now what they're looking beyond those colleges, because one is like, a lot of work has moved into India post pandemic. For example, even the so-called negative things, the Russia-Ukraine war. I don't know how many of you know Ukraine was a country which was doing a very good amount of work in software development, including the embedded software development, right? So those type of work done in those countries are moving to India, because India is still a much more cost effective, a lot of talent available. It is relatively, war free, safe, etc. Right? So it's all matters. So that is also the, aiding to a situation where companies are, finding hard to, hire. Right? And I'll just go off the video because it's just throwing some error message saying that my network is little slow, just to preserve the audio quality. I'll come back again. Okay. The other part you might be seeing in the media is about semiconductor crisis, right? As the pandemic hit, right, there are a lot of companies which are not able to produce the required number of chipsets, right? Because of which a huge crisis is being taken place. Even if you look like car manufacturers, they're not getting enough electronics to put it into their car. Okay. And India is taking this as an opportunity. So far, if you see, India has been more seen as a country which develops the embedded software, right? So they're seeing not only about software, they're getting opportunity to manufacture the hardware also, right? So that is where the opportunity is coming in form of manufacturing. Some of you, if you're following the news, you will see, right, Mysore has been chosen to create the fabrication unit. So for the hardware, if you see, largely it has been more of assembling is what we are doing. For example, the cell phone manufacturing, right? So all the parts come from China, we only assemble, right? Now we are going to manufacture those parts in India itself, right? So when the manufacturing comes in, it is going to drive more jobs. Along with manufacturing, so definitely manufacturing cannot exist alone. It also requires design, both the software design and hardware design, which is going to drive more number of jobs in India. So that way, these trends are acting very much favorable for people like you. Okay. Okay. So then we talk about this, in terms of the electric vehicles. If you look at the electric vehicles as such, right, that has been another major revolution in India, where you see a lot of companies are transitioning into the electric vehicle manufacturing. Even the traditional companies, right, companies like even Tech Mahindra, companies like Ola, Uber, right, not Uber, sorry, the Ether Energy. A lot of these organizations are moving into manufacturing electric vehicles, right? Electric vehicles, as you all know, is having more electronics to do. The entire engine is going to get replaced, and not only that, the entire thing is becoming a connected vehicle. So there is a lot of need of IoT sensors, integrating the sensors into it, and then providing a lot of smart features, etc., etc. All are coming, due to the electric vehicle. You can see in our placement portfolio, we have companies like Mahindra Electric, Ola Electric, and even if you look at companies like Tata or company like L&T, they're creating more newer organizations. For example, L&T has created something called L&T Smart World Communication, right? So these kind of companies are building solutions like IoT, smart city. Even not only when you talk about electric vehicle, there are electric vehicle requires a ecosystem. For example, requires a battery charging system, etc. Right? So which is also driving huge amount of jobs. So some of them are already hiring our students, and more are getting pipeline. Okay. Then subsequently, if you see what this means, more jobs are chasing lesser number of skilled people. The word skilled is the key here. It is not about quantity, because in India, as you all know, lakhs and lakhs of engineering graduates are getting passed out every year. And as of latest data, what I saw yesterday, about 18 lakhs engineering graduates are coming out every year. and this number is going to go up to 26 lakhs by the year 2024. Huge numbers, right? 26 lakhs, and hardly minuscule percentage of them are having the employable skills, because the engineering, the way how it is taught, it is very theoretical in nature, because we have some of the lecturers also in this call today, right? I'm sure all of you would agree that engineering is being completely taught in a theoretical fashion, where the students are learning things in a conceptual way. At the same time, they are not able to apply that concept in a hands-on or practical way, right? So that's where the skilling becomes very, very important, and they ensure that people are getting the practical hands-on skills. That's where the skill comes into picture. That's where Emertxe also comes into picture, right? Okay. Now, what does it mean, right? These high-level trends or high-level, whatever the points that I shared, what does it mean to a student like you, right, or a person who is looking for a career break, right? The H1 2022, H1 we say first half, you can see, right? June is kind of getting closed. Half of 2022 is gone already. It is closing very well in terms of placements. I'll show you the data shortly, right? And continuous requests from companies for trained embedded engineers, right? Be it MNC like Qualcomm, NXP, or you can say the Indian big companies, which I mentioned about L&T, Smart World Communications, Tata Advanced Services. These type of companies are getting created to work on these latest cutting edge technologies. So we get continuous requests. Okay, we have a lot of meetings. Companies are requesting, and whatever the demand that they come up, right? They say, I have 10 openings, right? We are not able to fill the 10 openings with our students, right? So that's also, you may see, right? The demand is growing so high that more than 80 percentage of the companies are repeat recruiters, right? Even though they hire one batch, they're not able to fulfill their requirements, so they come back and hire for the next batch also, right? So that's another heartening thing to see, right? And many factors which is driving this much amount of job search. One is like, as the pandemic is settling down, even though the recently I'm seeing in India the cases are going slightly high, but it is not life threatening or something. Even people get it, they're able to getting affected, they're able to come out fast. We are all been vaccinated, etc. So because 2 years people were kind of pressed inside home, and organizations also could not invest in building these technologies, right? So they're all able to see a lot of investments coming in from these organizations. And even for an individual, you think, right, 2 years when we locked, we never got an opportunity to spend, right? Now that we're all kind of going out, either we buy a phone or buy a laptop, anything for that matter, even going and watching for a movie, right? So everything is demand, this spending is increasing, so as the demand for electronic products, right? And definitely pandemic has also taught us some important lessons about doing things digitally, right? Digitization and automation is very, very important for any company, be it an industry or, and even for that matter, in the beginning, if you remember, right, I said we are one of the key reasons why we moved online is pandemic, right? So the education is getting entirely digitized. So the entire webinar or the induction class we are doing today is nothing but a digitized class, what we are talking about, right? And the geopolitical advantage that India has, right? As the pandemic started in China, right? More and more the geopolitical ground is changing, where it is turning out to be more favorable for India, right? So that's where these factors are driving a lot of jobs, right? And as I said, more than 80% of the companies are repeatedly hiring. Okay? And more MNCs are coming into the foray, even like HP Incorporated, where I worked. If I say in the beginning, I mentioned, right. So these kind of companies never used to hire from institute like us, right. As I mentioned, they used to have a predefined set of campuses. They used to go only do campus interview and then finish off their entry level hiring. Now they're open. They used to coming and hire. Last I think 2 months we had placed some I think 3-4 students getting placed up and above 8-9 lakhs type of salary. And more companies are what I'm started calling them as double digit CTC companies, right? 10 lakhs and above. Okay. So those type of companies are increasing. Company like, for example, Infineon, right? Chelsea Communications. So Chelsea, we had a student who got a 14 lakh CTC, and we have Infineon, where one student got 11 lakh CTC. Anyways, Microchip and Qualcomm is there, who is already paying 10 lakhs microchip and 22 plus lakhs for Qualcomm, right? And even in the recent past, we also have NXP Semiconductors who hired our student in slightly in a different model where they got a CTC of about 13 plus LPA, right? So the two-digit LPA companies are increasing, and and not only the big companies, and there are a lot of medium and startups are coming along the way. As I mentioned about electric vehicle is one area. Similarly, a lot of new areas are coming up in things like robotics and many other similar areas, which is also driving lots and lot of jobs. So overall, this is how the placement situation that is existing in Emertxe. If you see the previous slide, we talked about high level trends, and then this is a slide where we mentioned how it is translating into opportunities for our students, right? And let me repeat, these companies when they come here for skills, right? Not for your year of pass out or your percentage, right? And statistically, if you see, about 40% of the companies say you can be from any year of pass out. So let me repeat, 40% of the companies are telling you can be from any means literally any. You can be from 2012, you can be from 2015, you can be from 2021, right? So all they carry is, if they give an opportunity and call you for a interview or a written test, can you perform, right? Can you prove yourself that you have the necessary skills, right? So that's the main goal or the game that we are talking here, right? So absolutely nothing to worry with respect to the opportunities, right? Now let us talk in terms of numbers and graphs, right? You can see this is a graph which we show in every induction class or even webinars that we run, right? So you can see this is the number of companies visited us in the year 2022, right? This is the sixth month. We have another day or two for the month of June to close. As you can see, in every month we have 100 plus companies coming and participating in our placements, right? This is phenomenal, guys, right? I've been, as I said, I started in Emerging in 2014. It's been my ninth year. In my 9 year of handling students, handling companies, I never seen so many placement opportunities coming in for any batches. This year has been really exceptional, right? And if you just do mathematically, 100 plus companies are coming. Let us say we work for 21 days, and even if you want to schedule, right, 4 to 5 companies scheduling, it is not feasible, right? That's where we are not able to schedule all the students, because of which some of the companies which came in last month, the schedule automatically moves to the next month because we could not schedule, right? So that's what the next graph talks about, is the number of drives that has happened. And you can see very clearly here, year on year, we have shown this particular graph in comparison with 2020 and 2021, right? 2020 is the blue color, thing that we talk about, right? You can see here the companies where we were in the roughly in the mark of 20, around that. And especially if you look at the March, April, when the first wave of pandemic hit, it went quite badly, and also we went for a nationwide lockdown, right? Then after that, it started picking up reasonably well, right? And doing around 15 to 20 drives is what happening during that time, right? So 2021 was pretty good, where we saw surge in terms of placement companies. We started doing 24 to 30 drives in first half of this year, right? 2021, and second half of 2021, we saw things getting even better. By then, the first wave has settled down, the vaccine came in place, etc., right? And even the second wave settled down around July. So where October was very important for us, where we saw 51 companies participating, or 51 drives happening in Emertxe. So that was a very significant achievement for all of us. And 2022, as you can see in the in the graph, right, it has been really a dream, right? That every month you can see, right, almost like 82, 73. This month you already done 53 drives, right? So the drives are happening in a very fast paced manner, right? So because of which our students are providing or getting excellent opportunities. So there is, as I already told in the beginning, there is absolutely no need for to worry about whether you will get an opportunity or not. All you need to be worry is, given this opportunity, how can I convert this opportunity into my offer letter? That is going to be the challenge, for which the skill building plays a very important role, right? Getting the companies, ensuring that our students are getting more than what we promised during your counseling time or initial joining time, right? Okay, that is our responsibility. Our placement team is on it, right? They're on it day in and day out. I am closely involved with them. We talk to a lot of companies, and our challenge or our commitment is to bring in more and more companies as we move forward, right? As I said, 80% of the companies are repeat companies, 20% of them are new, right? So I always push my placement team to bring more and more companies by talking to more companies, explaining our value proposition, right? And what benefits they get by hiring our students, etc., etc. Right? So that's what we do, and that's where we stand with respect to placement opportunities, right? So I would like to pause here. This, as I said, is the first phase or the first segment of our presentation. Let me also turn my video on. I think it in between it got turned on. Okay, no problem. I just taking a walk, right? Because it was a little network was a little dry. Now it seems to be okay. Okay, so are there any questions so far? Whatever is being covered. Okay. So let me share. There's a question from Sudarshan. So as you said, the recruitment company visiting us have increased exponentially from 2020. Can we expect the same trend by this year end or of 2023? 2023, yes, we can. As of now, the all the signs looks positive for us, right? Even though there have been some fear of job cuts, especially in the Indian startup ecosystem, you can see especially edtech companies to be very if you look at the recent news, right, companies like An Academy, Vedantu, who've been operating in the K-12 segment, even laying off people, right? And also we do hear some noise about recession, right, about economic slowdown, whatever may be in the US, but I don't see that is anywheres yet. In fact, this question came up in the last placement monthly meeting. I meet my students every month for placements. I mean, you guys, right? So today evening, I kept they ask me this question. They'll jack me every month. So they asked me this question. So I don't see any signs of things getting slowed down. Okay. But in case if it happens, let us say, for example, in worst case scenario, if it happens, we'll be open about it. Okay. No need to worry. In fact, this particular graph which I'm showing, right, I've been showing them from the from I would say March of 2020, right? Every month we used to meet students, we used to share that information. So the information is transparent and we will communicate. Even if it's a good news or bad news, you'll hear from us. Okay. But to answer your question, I'm not seeing any signs of things slowing down. Any signs I'm not getting. Only I'm getting is like rather I would say every recession in general, right? It's also benefited India because more jobs are moving in because we are still cost effective. Still, the talent pool is deep in word as I said, 26 lakhs or 17 lakhs, right? Where would you get so many engineers in India, in any country for that matter, right? Some countries won't even have a population of 17 lakhs, right? So that's the scenario. So I don't see any reason of you to get concerned. In worst case, if it happens, you'll hear from me. Okay, we'll be the first people to communicate. Now that you are our student, right? In a monthly meeting, in our discussions, we'll be able to communicate. But as of now, there's absolutely no reason to panic, no need to worry, even for 2023, right? I don't see any reason to get concerned. Hope that clarifies your question, Sudarshan. Because you'll be worried about how when I finish the course or when I start applying for placements, what will happen, right? I think that's quite natural in which you are asking this question, right? Absolutely nothing to worry, Sudarshan. Yeah. Is there any other questions? Or even if you have no questions, at least type no questions. So that at least uh, I'm clear that you are hearing and you're fine with whatever has been shared so far. If you have no questions, type no questions. Okay, Durga is telling no questions. Okay, Natya, Mega. All right. And this is especially for people who are from older batch, right? They will be worried, right? And as I said, among these, roughly 40% of them hire any year of pass out, right? So you can easily calculate the number of opportunities you can get on a month-on-month basis. Okay. More responses coming in. All right, great. So shall we move to the technical part of the course? Can I get some go ahead? So this is like a first side, right? Okay. So this question here, she's asking, so can we apply to other companies even if they don't come to the drive at the coaching center? You can, Ashwini. There's nothing wrong. So the question Ashwini is asking, sir, I know some companies hiring, but that company is not coming for emergency placement. Most of them come, but even if there are minuscule of them or they have different ways to hire, right? You come to know that there's an opportunity for you to apply, go ahead and apply, no problem. Okay, for us, what? Okay, you get a job, right? And we know to get a job, the skill that you learn in Emertxe is what important, right? And as long as you are skilled, you find, let us say, some employee referral program is going on, right? Or some you find some portal, some jobs are available for freshers or other entry level people in embedded, right? Go and apply, no problem. From our side, we don't have any problem. You can very well apply from outside also. In fact, some of the students get placed like that also. Then they come back and share sweet, saying that, sir, I got placed up by applying outside. But you know what? When we went to the interview, they asked me the same thing. What is being taught in university? So we are very happy about it, and there's nothing. It's like saying, right? If suppose you want to go to a destination, you have two routes, but through our placement channel, which we will anyways. In case if you through the other channel you reach a destination, why not? Our goal is to reach a destination. That's all right. Feel free, no problem. You can apply on your own. Is it clear, Ashwini? Okay. Then there's a question comes. Sir, if you got placed in to a company and want to attend a drive of some other company which is offering more, can we apply? I was expecting why this question is not coming, right? I'll explain it in the placement policy, but since that question has come up by Rohit, right? Let me clarify that, right? So logically, what happens, right? You are getting every day 4 applications, 3 applications, 5 applications. Sometimes there won't be, sometimes it may happen that 7, 8 applications come on the same day, right? You see so many opportunities are coming up. And you see that you have completed the necessary modules, which I talk about in the next section, right? You are eligible academically, you go and apply. Okay. So which means to say, and you are also getting shortlisted, which means to say you are attending placement from multiple companies at the same time. Let us say in case of, since Rohit is asking this question, let us assume a scenario where Rohit is attending interview with 3 companies. Let us say company A, company B, and then company C. Let us say he's attending interview with 3 companies, right? Now, when he's attending with companies A, B, and C, the process can be zigzag, right? For example, in company A, he's attended only written test, right? Company B is attended written test, he cleared the technical interview, he cleared the HR interview, and he's just waiting, okay, in or out, last over, right? Company C has cleared the technical round, or it could be vice versa. I'm just telling, right? You can assume on your own, right? And let us say, for example, company A is offering, let us say, for example, it is offering 5 lakhs per annum salary. Let us say company B is asking 6 lakhs per annum salary. And let us say, for example, company C is offering 15 lakhs LPA salary for our understanding, right? That's a CTC assume, right? Now, what we say in Emertxe is that you can apply for any number of companies and even you can attend the process in parallel, no problem. But whichever the offer comes first, you need to take it. Let me repeat, you can apply to as many companies as possible. You can attend as many written tests and interviews in parallel on the same day. For example, a student attending 2 interviews per day. It's very normal in Emertxe, morning one interview, evening one interview, right? But among that, which one will come first, we don't know, right? It depends on them. For example, let us say company B, you went in HR round, right? Maybe the HR is on leave for the next week, right? Or the HR has sent the offer to approval from some senior officials or somebody. Sometimes they send even to their headquarters in, let us say, US, right? And there is a they're not approved it, right? Even though they're okay, they're ready to take you, but until that, what I tell students, until the letter comes in hand, the offer is not confirmed, or at least they should confirm us to our placement team saying that this student is selected, right? Okay, so it can happen. Now, what we say in Image is whichever offer comes first, you need to take it. Let us say, for example, in case of Rohit, let us say, offer B comes through first, right? Let us say he got a 6 lakhs company come and giving an offer letter, let us say today. Even though he has attended multiple rounds in company A and C, especially you will be very much, excited about C, saying, oh, 15 lakhs LPA, right? Let's suppose I cleared a technical round, I'm waiting for an HR. Wow, I'm almost close, right? So you cannot continue. You need to settle with one offer. Let me tell you why we do this, right? There is a reason behind we do this. Okay? And in fact, even yesterday offline induction class also the same question come up, right? So there are 2 reasons why we do this. Okay. Reason number one, for the recruiting companies, because we are promising something to you, right? Saying that this many opportunities you'll get, this is the kind of companies coming like that, 2 years unlimited placement opportunity, etc. Right? In the similar lines, we promise something to the recruitment companies also. So what do we promise to the recruiting companies, right? We tell, we promise 5 things. I will not explain all 5 because that will be quite a detailed discussion. So one of the things that we promise in that 5 points is that in Emerging, if you come and make an offer to a student, they will join. They will not reject the offer. Okay. Let us say, for example, in case of Rohit, we allow him to attend multiple companies. Let us say he will get offer from C also. Let us say, he went ahead and attended, and he got a 15 LP also. What he will do, he will naturally choose C. He will not join B, which means to say what, he is rejecting the offer with company B. That is not okay. Because company come to us because they, we ensure that students join, right? There is no offer rejections happening here. They come to us. Point number one. Point number two, from the companies, from the student perspective, what is our goal, right? We are not, for example, some of the institutions we go, especially IITs and all, right? Even some of the NIT, right? It is very common that student will be having multiple offers, right? 2 offers, 3 offers in their hand, one through online, one through offline, whatever, one through campus drive, etc. Right? Okay. What we don't want in Emergee is we don't want a scenario. Let us say Rohit is very good. Let us say, right? He's having 3 offers. On the contrary, I'm having Anand and Harshal and Madhuri who are not having any offers, right? Anand is having Rohit is having 3 offers. Arshal and Anand and Madhuri not having any offers, right? We don't want that scenario. We want all of you to go with one offer. Okay? So, which means to say that once you get offer company from offer, say offer from company B, you don't need to do anything. Our placement team automatically will go and tell company A and company C, saying that, hey, look, company A and C, these student called Rohit, he got placed in with our another client. So please don't take his candidature forward. He's not available. He's blocked for company B. So that in company A and C, either Harsh or Anand, who has also gone till the final round, they can get that opportunity. Okay, so this is a very fair process from the student perspective. We are not, distributing the offers so that all of you can go with one offer, because we are struggling hard, right? Many of you are coming with the year break. Many of you are coming trying to resume your career, right? After, especially girl students, right? They get married, they have kids, they want to come back. Or some of you wanted to change your career from teaching profession, or some of you, some things have not come to, right? You put your hard-earned money and time and energy in this course, right? So we want to ensure that all of you become successful by getting one offer, right? So that's the reason in Emergee we say you can apply to as many, you can attend the interviews and written tests as many as you want, but the first company which offers you, you need to join that company. Okay, is it clear? Rohit, others? Yeah, same thing coming from question from Anjali also. As there are so many companies, company, do you have the choice, right? Same company. Can we select that we wanted to apply? What if you get an offer letter on our own and one in Emergee? Yes, you can apply. See, you can, what I'm saying, you can be choosy. Suppose let us say A, B, and C coming, right? Let us say 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, and 15 lakhs coming. Suppose you decide, no, sir, I want to only go for premium companies, right? I want to, let us say, there can also be scenarios where companies coming at, let us say, let me rub this, right? Let us say you have, a company, right? A company A, company B, company C, company D, company E coming, right? Every day there are, let us say today 5 companies are coming, and you see this companies like this, right? There is a company offering 4 LPS etc. Some companies may offer little less also. Let us say somebody is offering 3.6, somebody is offering, let us say 5.5, and somebody is offering 12.5, and some companies are offering 7, right? Among these companies, let us say for a time being, let us assume that Anjali is eligible for all the companies. She is having academic qualification, and not only that, you need to complete the corresponding modules, right? They also expect a certain skills. And let us say she is eligible, right? Suppose you feel that no, sir, I don't want to apply for any company that is less than 5. If you think like that, right? Okay, you can comfortably go ahead and say, you don't want to, you don't apply for company A and C. For example, company A and C, you can very well not apply itself. No problem. In Emergee, we don't force any student. So many companies are coming and so many batches are there, right? We don't force. You said, hey, you are eligible, apply. You don't force any student. It's purely your choice. Okay. Okay. But one thing I'll tell you as a mentor, right, and also leading placements, okay, among students, because this is a thing I tell in every meeting. There's a saying in English saying that never judge a book by its cover. Have you heard that? Yes, no? Have you heard this quote? Never judge a book by its cover, right? Okay, Gauri is telling yes. Okay, almost all of you have, right? Similarly, I tell students, never judge a company by its CTC. Okay, never judge a company by its CTC, because yes, I know all of you wanted to get into higher salaries. All of you want to earn money. I'm not telling don't earn money. Money is wrong. I'm not. I'm not telling that. Right? Everybody is here. Nobody's doing a charity here, including you and me. Right? We are all want to make money. Having said that, okay, do not only look into the cities. Do not judge. 3.6 a corrupt company, 12.5 acha company. Don't judge. Okay, that's why in our placement application we clearly give, right, the job description, what the company is doing, because it's not only about Let us say, uh, you know, you get into a 12.5 lakhs company, but the learning opportunity is not at all good, right? They're giving you very mundane or very, where 3 years you work, your learning is not at all good. So 3 years later, what will happen? Your employability quotient will come down. On the contrary, somebody is getting into a 3.6 job, but he's doing a really, core work, right? He's doing a very challenging project. He's learning a lot in his work every day. What will happen after 3 years? His market value will zoom, right? So that's the reason we tell people, do not only go by CTC. Okay. See, if there are some genuine concern with people, because some companies will say you need to be working with, you need to be ready to work from Chennai office, right? Some student may be there, especially girl students. Suppose you're married, right? You cannot relocate. That's fine. It's a personal, genuine concern. Don't apply. Okay. But do not judge it only because by CTC, right? Oh, this is a good company. This is a wrong notion to look into any company, right? I suggest don't go by that. Okay. We share all the information. I tell students, right, when we share that information, go and click the website of the company. Look into the technologies they work on. Look into the service or products they offer. Look into the recent, achievements they've done. Right, every company is doing a very good work, and all the companies which are hiring is not doing in nothing but a core work only they're doing. Right, and some other companies, even if I say that they offer very starting salary will be very nominal, but they do a phenomenal work, and students even get promoted very fast there, because there are so many opportunities. Like especially if you join a mid-size or a startup company, right? You get so many opportunities. So that way you can grow faster in such companies, right? So my request to all of you is don't only look in from a CTC. Yes, I agree. It looks very attractive. You also want higher salary. Your first paycheck should look fatter, etc. But do not only go by that. Okay? See other details and then take that. But end of the day, no force. Okay? End of the day, we don't come and whatever I'm telling all these things as a guideline and recommendation. End of the day, who is the boss? You guys are the boss, right? It is your career, right? I'm not going to come and work in the office and things like that. It is your career. It is your choice. Okay, is it clear? Anjali says thank you. Okay, is it clear, guys? Good. I'm happy that the more questions you ask, it's better for all of us, right? And the beauty, why I take time to answer all those questions, not only to the point, I cover some other part also, because as I'm answering, some of them sitting in the class today will be having questions related to that. So that way, if I answer something around that 3 4 points, their questions also will get answered. That's why my answers are relatively long. I take a lot of time to answer the questions. Is it clear, guys? Are you get an idea? Can I get some responses? Yes, no. Okay. Okay. Natya, Ashwini. Okay. Jyoti, Gauri. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. So let us move on to our, our technical side of it. Okay. And the course. Let me introduce you the technical aspects of the course. So we'll get to know about course overview. Okay. And the details. And anyways, we'll come back and look into the placements once again. Certification, which I briefly mentioned, we'll talk about it, and finally some do's and don'ts. And we'll also announce your next class and when you need to join, and our support, our team's support channels, etc. Right, so we'll get into that. So what are we trying to do as an organization? We are trying to do a skill building by offering practical trainings, right? Be it a student or your working professional or a corporate organization. Our goal is to give you guys with a hands-on practical training. Right? We saw one of the key reasons why people are not getting employment. It is because they only study things in a theoretical fashion. Right? By making the trainings practical, you improve your skill set. Not only improve your skill set, you also improve your confidence. Right? One of the key thing often I get into discussion is about, sir, my communication skills are not good. I'm not very, and we tell in Emertxe, your communication skill is proportional to your confidence. If you're confident, you can talk. And that much English, all of you will know, right? So no need to worry about that. Focus on your hands-on aspects, build your skill set. Your confidence will naturally go up when you're facing the interview, right? Okay. So let us come to the course details, what are all the modules and how this course is going to get delivered. Okay. So basically, this is I think the uh, video is coming little slow. Let me go off the video once again. It looks like, it is eating up a lot of bandwidth. There is some sync issue. I'll come back again. So you can see, the course slider. I think it's coming little slowly. Let me wait. Just a minute. This looks like that. Looks like there is some network issue. Let me. All right. Yeah. This looks okay now. So what are we doing? This particular course, it is a 5 months course. We call it as a Emergency Certified Embedded Professional. That's how we started. So we still keep this name. 1 minute. Some audio issue. Okay. So Am I audible now, guys? Can you just confirm? Hope you're able to hear me. All right, great. There's some network issue, guys. Sorry about that. No, I tried to change and then the other network also went bad. Okay, because for audio I'm using my phone and for desktop share I use my other internet connection. Sometimes one works and doesn't work. Okay. All right. Shall we continue? Hope you're all okay now. Shall we continue? Talk. All right. So let us continue. Okay. Let me. So we were discussing about the course, right? What is this particular objective of this course? It is primarily aiming to make you employable by making things hands-on, practical, right? And in any program that we do, we maintain a 70-30 ratio, 70% practical and 30% theory, which we do for this particular course also. Right? Now, this overall delivery is being divided into three components. One is what you call classroom delivery, where all our classes are live, as I mentioned, like we are doing today, right? And then once the classes are done, the same session will be recorded. As you saw, this session is also getting recorded, and then we'll be able to share you the recorded version also. So the recorded video you'll be able to access from something called as a LMS or Learning Management System. You will be given a login for that, where it's a portal where you will be given a username and password. If you can log into this, and you can access the entire recorded video, right, including the today's webinar. Today's one I try to send it via YouTube because sometimes it takes time to create your logins, etc. Right. That's about it, right? And one of the key challenges that we face learning online, which we ask in every webinar, is about the learners support. If you look at almost all the popular learning management portals or any portal where you're reading, taking up a self-learning course, right? Self-learning course, you'll get fantastic contents, be it NPTEL or be it Udemy or Coursera, anywhere you can go, you'll get a self-learning content, which is already pre-recorded, right? So those are all very good, and in fact, most of them are available for free. Right. So one of the key challenges that learning from those portals is that you don't get a support, or what you call in Emertxe's word, right? It is nothing but the word called intervention, right? You don't get a intervention for a learner. So the learner has to learn on their own, and it is completely up to them to finish it. That's why you can see many of you will buy an online course, but you will never be able to complete. Right. In fact, the Udemy's learning completion rate is around 3%, right? 100 people buy, but only three will be able to complete, right? But this is not okay in our case because you guys come up with the expectation of placements, right? So we have no choice from your side also, from our side also, to ensure that you are properly skilled. So that's where the intervention comes into picture, where our mentors will be working with you beyond the classroom of 2 hours per day. You'll also have something called as intervention session where they'll explain the assignments and projects depending on how it goes in the classroom. And once you start doing your assignments or project, you will get into some doubts. That's where you have other mechanism like either a forum based support or a WhatsApp group where you can type your doubts and get it clarified, right? Because it's very important that you not only stop with the classroom, you go beyond classroom and work on your assignments and projects. That's where the real learning happens and the output comes, because of which you guys get placed, right? So that's one of the key differentiator between our course and what you get to see in places like Udemy. Udemy gives great contents, no doubt about that, but they, in terms of support and follow up and evaluation, right? Even so, let's say you submit a test or you submit a project or a assignment code, somebody has to come back and tell whether your source code is looking good or your code is not looking good, right? So that is where the real skill building happens. Hope you are able to see the difference, right? The other challenge that happens, especially in embedded systems, learning embedded systems, is comes in form of hardware, right? So in our course there are two modules which comes with a hardware oriented modules. One is what you call microcontroller module, the another one is the embedded Linux or ELAM, right? Or you can say PIC and ARM based platforms are the two modules which are dependent on hardware, right? So these, in order to learn these two, we have come up with a concept of simulators. People who attended the webinar will know it better, but just in the interest of others, let me quickly show you guys how the simulator works, right? So if you come and learn this particular course from our physical classroom. So we use something called as Rido Labs pick and board. Okay, you can see this. This board you can this board we give it to our students when they come and learn here in our physical classroom. You can see they take this course, they check out this particular board, and you can see this controller has got various IOs and various interfaces associated with that, right? So they take this course and then they'll work on it, right? And then while going home, they return and go home, right? This is what they do. But it's not feasible in an online class, right? Because your guys are located remotely, almost all parts of the India. Some of you are even located outside India, right? So that's where our mentors, without compromising the learning effectiveness, right? What do we do? So that's where we came up with this idea of PixSim Lab, which is nothing but a simulator. Again, it's an open source simulator, which will exactly simulate the real hardware. You can see here, this is a screenshot of a PixSim Lab, where you can see, right, the entire board is getting simulated in one example, right? You can see one more example where this is a slightly more richer example. You can see here these are nothing but simulators. These simulators you need to install in your computer, and then it will run as a part of your PC itself, so that you don't need to buy any board, and then and then use it for development or learning. And be rest assured that in terms of the learning effectiveness, whether I'm learning via my real physical board or via my simulator, my learning effectiveness will remain the same. In fact, whatever the source code that you write in a simulator, with a very minimal change, that mainly the port configuration change, if you can make, and make it run in a board, it will work as it is. But if you're still particular that no sir, I really want to buy a board and learn, we can give you the links, right? You can go and buy them. Those boards are openly available. They will ship it to your home wherever you are located, and then you can connect and try. Okay, but as a recommended mechanism, I would say learning from the simulator itself is more than enough for you to learn it well, right? In the similar lines, we have another module called embedded Linux. Okay, let me quickly show you that. So if you're learning from our center, you'll be using this board called BeagleBone Black. Okay, and then this will have, you can see this. So this is a board you can buy, and then again similarly you will run Linux in it and stuff like that. This is basically a ARM Cortex based processor here, where you can run a Linux inside this particular board. Okay, this is what we use in our module, right? In the similar lines, for our online students, we came up with this concept of Kemu emulator that you can see here. Kemu is an emulator where again you can install in your PC itself, and then you can simulate a instruction set. Again, this is open source. You don't need to worry. It runs as a part of your PC itself, right? It's a Kemu emulator. So again, one of the well-known emulators to learn different architecture, right? And you can see in the screen, and I just clicked one of the pictures where you are running your software in an x86 based hardware, but it is actually emulating an ARM based processor. You can see here. Even if you're not able to see, that's fine. Okay, just to give an idea, right? So you're going to learn using the simulator, right? In terms of learning effectiveness wise, there is no difference, right? And coming back to our evaluation mechanism, where we have a very where everything that you do in Emertxe will get evaluated or assessed, right? So be it assignments, attendance, projects, assignments, everything will get affected, evaluated, and you will be given a grade, right? And in every major module, you'll have a project associated with it, so that you can represent this project very well in your resume, right? Last but not the least, we conduct something called Disha workshops, where we do things like resume building, facing interviews, right? And then how to present yourself, mock interviews, company specific preparation sessions. And we do monthly meetings. As I said, today afternoon I have our June monthly meeting, where we discuss on a very monthly basis what's happening in the placement, updates, feedback, etc. So we, that way you guys are updated about what's happening in the placements, right? Okay, so this is how the course is packaged, right? And this is a diagram which says how our course is different from other online portals, where it's more of a only content push, video push. But ours is where it's not only a content push, you also get a very much support and hand holding, so that you learn well. Okay, and this is our immersive delivery model, which I mentioned. It doesn't stop with a virtual classroom. It gets into explainer session, then live doubt clearing sessions, then assessment and evaluation, and finally the prep sessions, right? And how do you build your skills and capabilities? It is divided into multiple levels, where you start with level 1 modules, where you complete Linux systems, C programming and C++ programming. That's level 1 modules. And if you heard about in your counselor, in your discussion with your counselor, they'll say, you can start applying after the third month, right? That's but if you technically speaking, right, after the level 1 module completion is where we allow you to apply for placements. This is where your placement starts. And subsequently, you learn other advanced modules like data structures, Linux internals and networking, where you take your Linux knowledge to the next level here. And whatever the C programming you learned, you take that to the next level by getting into data structures. And again, whatever you learned in Linux internals, you take it to further level by porting a Linux in a particular hardware. That is nothing but your embedded Linux. So as you move from one module, you will get into more knowledge and skill so that you get more closer to your placements, right? And anyway, Disha workshop will keep happening in parallel. Once in a quarter we do, and NSDC certification we do it towards the end of the session. And placement ready, we write it as a level 4, but as I said, practically we start doing from level 1 itself. Okay. Then another important part here it is to understand is about the timeline of placements, because in your counseling discussions, our counselor would have told you that you will get unlimited placement support for 2 years after course completion. Am I right, guys? Have you heard that statement? Can I get some response? They would have told, right, 2 years from the time of you completing the course you'll get it, right? I'm seeing a lot of faces coming, right? So let us see how it works, right? So with respect to these modules, right, technical modules, right? So let me draw a simple timeline here. Okay, let us say you guys are joined in the month of July. Let us say this is June end, right? So let us say you're joined in the, let us calculate from July 22, right? So this is a 5-month course. Let us say July, August, September, October, November. Okay, November is when you complete the course. Let us add some more time here because mentors will be giving more time for you to complete projects, etc. Let us say, for example, December mid or December third week, the course is going to complete. This is where your course. So this is basically what you do your course. So now I'm using my mouse to write. It may not sometimes look good. Okay. Now, if you look at this with respect to this diagram, right, you can start applying after the third month, right? For example, here July, August, you know, September is when you can start applying for your placements. September 22. That's when you will be completing basically your, I'll say, level 1 modules, right? Okay. And then you can start applying for your placements from here. Okay. And then what my team would have told you is that, from a commitment point of view, what we do is that 2 years from the time of you complete the course. Let us say, for example, December 22nd, you complete your course, right? So what we say with respect to placement commitment, you can get unlimited opportunities until basically December 24. Till then you will be completing. This is what they mean in our counseling, right? They mean by these 2 years. But actually speaking, it is more than 2 years, right? 2 years and this 3 months. Let us say 3 months. Let us say roughly, right? It is actually 27 months if you ask me, right? This is how it works. Okay. But you will get support till December 2024, unlimited opportunities. Again, the other condition will hold true where you can only go for one job, right? Even though you can apply for multiple placements, right? You can go for only one offer, right? That's point number 1. Point number 2 is here. Let us say, for example, you reach this particular, month of December, right? December 2022, where you completing your course, right? Here, two scenarios can exist. Somebody can get placed before that itself. Let us say, for example, I'm having Madhuri. She's applying for a job. Let us say she's getting placed in the month of October. Okay. Here, what happens? All the companies which are hiring our students expect you to join immediately. And the moment the offer gets released, they would expect you to join immediately. And since you are part of the day batch, or in the morning batch, it may be difficult for you to continue attending the same batch, right? But at the same time, you have, let us say, 1 or 2 modules pending from your overall the modules which I demonstrated, I mentioned in the slide, right? So what happens is for all our students, we give option for you to, assuming that you get placed before the course gets over, you'll be shifted to the evening batch because we run the same program in 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. evening. and the lab happens between 6 to 6:45 or 7 p.m., right? You will be automatically given opportunity to attend our evening class. So that way you will not miss the opportunity of missing all the completing all the modules, right? But yeah, it can happen where some of you have completed the course, let us say December 2020, right? You attended, let us say, a few placement opportunities, but say you still not placed. So those students continue to apply till December 2024 until you get placed. Okay, is it clear, guys? Because this much explanation they cannot give it during counseling, right? They would have briefly mentioned 2 years of placement support. Is it clear? Anjali is telling yes. Very clear, says Gauri. Okay, yes, sir, says Tausif. Okay. Okay. Why they say after 3 months, right? It is because we wanted to complete at least the level 1 modules, right? Otherwise, your resume and your skill level remains like a fresher only, or as you are today, right? As I already mentioned, it is not about you joining the course. You need to necessarily obtain those skills. That will happen only at level 1. That's what this timeline is all about. Okay. All right. So let me just wipe this and then move on to the next. Okay. Let's move on. Assessment system, as I mentioned, multi-dimensional, attendance, assignments, projects, everything that you do get assessed. And not only assessed, you will be graded and you will be given an overall progress report for that particular module. Okay. So please pay very good attention to this particular slide, because many of you in the beginning I mentioned, right, don't need to worry about your era pass or no need to worry about percentage. Okay, but worry about this slide. Okay, here how you perform in our course matters a lot. In fact, companies also, when they're shortlisting, let us say one company comes and floats an application, right? Let us say 100 students apply. They say, no, no, we cannot interview 100 people. Give me your top 10 people, right? How they're going to sort the 10 people? Here they'll say definitely the sorting is not going to happen based on your year of pass or percentage, right? How we can sort? You will be sorted based on the performance in the course. That's why you can see, right? The high performers are in the green zone, orange ones are in the middle one, 60 to 70, then yellow, red zone, and black zone. The higher the band you are, the better you are performing in your course, right? Your probability of converting the high paying company, because people always ask me, sir, what does it take to convert a Qualcomm, right? How do we get that 14 lakhs Chelsea communication salary, or what does it take to get placed in a company like Robert Bosch, right? I tell them very simple answer: you be in the green zone, right? As long as you are higher performance. And by the way, whatever they're teaching in our course, right, they many times students come and tell me, even let us say in the written test also, they ask the same question, not only similar, same whatever they teach in the class, or sometimes what they ask in the mock interview, the same question only being asked in the interviews also. Because why? Because as over the years our mentors also built a question bank about what the companies will be asking, and they'll be doing a mock interview based on that, right? Okay, so all those things are possible. Just that you need to be performing well in the course by being regular and attending all the classes and labs. That's very critical. Okay, this I mentioned already, the Disha system, where we do the various workshops about resume building, facing interviews, and then time to time our mentors conduct prep sessions. That is company specific, topic specific. We do monthly meetings, right? And we have a counselor, right, who will be working with you. Where if you have any issues, you have going through some personal difficulty, or you are losing confidence, etc., right? She'll also be meeting with you and then helping you to navigate those challenges, and achieve your goal. This is what we call Disha. Okay. And then finally, we are back to placements again. This placements will be talking more about the placement process, right? How to apply, etc. But I would like to pause here. Let me also turn on the camera. Hope the network looks okay now. So far, are you able to get and connect how the placement starts, how the modules are delivered, how different it is from attending a recorded video session, etc. Can you get some responses? Okay, Kajal is telling yes, sir. Are you getting an idea about the course? We conducted the second section also. It's almost, I think, 115. we'll move to the last section of called placement, more from a process point of view. Anyways, good number of placement question we already discussed because it came up in the earlier sessions also. Just we'll cover it once again. Okay, Ashwini is telling yes. Then Rohit is telling yes. Thank you for the briefing. Okay, all right. Okay, so shall I proceed with the placement section now? Shall I proceed? Okay, Anjali is saying yes. Okay, Mega is telling yes, sir. Okay. So this, again, we have a process in place where once you guys join the course, day or two, all of you will be added into a Google group, Emertxe's Google group, right? So that group will be the, primary mode in which the entire placement activity will happen. So let me quickly, show you the Google group. Say Gmail. Let me switch it. So this is a Google group where all of you will be added, and here, let it load up. Yeah, you can see here. So this is how the entire activity is going to happen here, right? You can see the complete information is mentioned in terms of placements. Whenever there's a new company coming, right, it says apply now, and then once you apply, let us, then once you're done with that, then it'll open and show about the interview schedule that is getting shared, right? For example, in Emertxe Semiconductors, it came, and then here it says, right, interview schedule is there, right? Similarly, our team will be working on the schedule, what I shown in the slide number 1, right? Whenever there is a apply now comes, we count it as a company has come, right? Which is the slide number 1. Then slide number 2, what I showed in terms of drives, once the drive gets scheduled, right, we update that number. This is what we show. And you can see here the entire information, I think you can see 27 Qualcomm, LG. This is the data we try to share in social media and our website, guys. But as you know, right, this information takes some time for our, time from our placement team to our website team or our social media team, right? They take some time to communicate this information, and then the posters gets created. But once you're part of the Google group, this is like a live channel. Whatever is happening, you'll be able to see it, right? And then, as I said, we are doing our monthly meeting. So today we are meeting again, go to webinar. Today, Wednesday, 5 p.m. we meet on a monthly basis. So that's, you can see the announcement for our monthly meeting, right? So where you do a monthly interaction, and it'll be a Q&A. Students submit the questions. You can see, right? They, month on month. Now we have an idea, but once you are start applying, more number of questions will come up, right? So that's what we do here in a monthly meeting. And recently the certification also went online. You can see here. So we are doing for the certification. So we have asked students to apply, especially the past ones. We given the deadline of 27th, since we want to give some time. We given time till today, 29th. We are given good number of students have applied. So all the information will reach you here. Okay. And apart from that, you'll also be given access to WhatsApp group. And hope you all of you have joined your group, WhatsApp group for your batch. Can you just confirm once? Your batch's WhatsApp group. Have you all joined? Okay, Funny is telling yes, yes. Okay, yes, we did, says Durga. Kajal is telling no. Okay, so in the end of the session, I'll share the link once again, the WhatsApp group link. You can join in case if you're not, right. That is like one WhatsApp group as such as for the general communication. Apart from that, time to time, in sync with the placement application, depending on the shortlisting across multiple batches, right? They'll be creating a company specific group. If you attended a webinar, Mubin would have showed. I'm not part of those groups because there are a few hundreds of groups, right? That's why I'm not able to show you, right? There, that also will be part of. So, for example, somebody attended the interview in the morning, they'll share what has been asked, right? And then, any announcements when the offer letter will be released. So, communication happens with the WhatsApp group also, because we found, especially for online students, communication is key. So that way, the individual WhatsApp groups also communicated for further communication, right? So this is how it works, right? And finally, people go and join, right, into the placements. And then we discuss two scenarios where you get placed before the course gets over. That's when you are automatically shifted to the evening batch and complete the pending modules. Then the second scenario is where you completed the course, but you're not got placed. Maybe you attended good number of interviews. That's when we discussed about 2 years of support. I showed the graph or the diagram, timeline diagram, which we drew and show, right? And until you get an offer letter, our placement team will be working with you. I'll share their contact details also, so that you keep them saved in your phone and in your emails. Uh, Whenever you need help, you'll be able to teach them. Okay. So placement eligibility, there are certain conditions we put, more than 60%, 40% or above in the placement eligibility test, 70% assignment completion, etc. We do it as a policy. We are not being very strict on this, but some of the students are taking advantage. We are not conducting any placement eligibility test. We are allowing, as soon as you complete your C module, students are applying. We are not conducting that. But on the other hand, we are seeing in the recent past where so many opportunities are coming and students are taking it for granted. Okay, that is also not good. And that's why our team is planning to bring back this, placement eligibility test. You'll hear from us soon. But as of now, this is more for a compliance purpose we kept. Okay. And coming to the company's job roles, almost all the verticals inside embedded hire, be it aeronautical, automotive, robotics, IoT, all the what you call as a various verticals of companies hire, right? And these companies also offer different types of roles, right? Be it development, testing, porting, bug fixing type of work. So that way you can see something like it is like a combination of row and column. There is a vertical, then there is a horizontal. That's where your job role would be. Okay. And what we tell people is that do not bother much about it. This is more for your knowledge sake. But from our side also, we will not be able to demand anything saying that no, I want to do only IoT and I want to do only development, right? That's not feasible. We tell students get into a core job first. Then you decide that as a step number 2. Okay. So here some important points are there. Placement will start after you complete level 1 modules. And regular attendance and follow instruction, which is very, very key. Okay. And there are 3 things which we expect you to prepare. For example, whenever you are going for a written test, they would expect you sometimes, in the written test, there'll be general aptitude, right? And they ask some questions about your basic electronics, even though you are not from an ECE background or triple E background, because this course is open for all the branches. At least whatever you studied in your first year electronics, ensure that you refresh and go. Okay. And then finally, a project, whatever you've done, some companies ask questions based on that. And if you're a work experienced person, are currently working or quit, some questions will come from your previous thing also. So prepare these things. It is your responsibility, because we'll not be able to coach you. Students ask me, sir, can you do train us on aptitude and things like that? We don't have time to do that. Okay. So, but we'll training on the whatever is being on the other side, right? On the embedded side, definitely we'll be giving you training. Okay. So vertical and horizontal, it will vary. Do not have any specifics on that to start with. We will not be able to demand anything. All we promise is a core job. We will not say, okay, I'll get you an IoT development job or an automotive testing job, right? That we will not be able to commit. What we tell students, whatever comes on your way, take it. Later you figure it out. That you can take it as a goal number 2. Your goal number 1 is to get into a core job. Okay. And this is a very important slide. I would request all of you to pay attention. There is something called as placement blacklisting. Okay. I wanted to give you guys a minute of time or a minute or 2. So please go through this slide, especially the text which is written in the red color. I'll come back. Okay. Let me take some water and come back. Please go through the text in the red color. Let me go off the video, take some water. If you completed reading this slide, just type yes in the chat window. It is very important that you read through. After you complete, just type yes. All right. Hope you all of you read this. Okay. So let me explain this in detail. Okay. So as I mentioned initially, all right, more than 80% of the recruiting repeat recruiters. Okay, they come to us because they trust us. Right. We've been here for more than 18 years. Right. And then we don't shortcut. We don't do any sort of malpractice. Just to boost up our placement, etc. Right. But as a student of Emertxe, you are not supposed to do four things. If you do that, you will be barred from attending further placements. That's also we call placement blacklisting. So what are those conditions? You can see in the red color. First one, as I shown you the job placement group, right? The entire information is given to you. In fact, if I click this one application, you can see more details. Company related information, URL, your year of pass out, right? Let me quickly show you, since we are already there on the screen. Okay, so you can see here. Let me just say, there's a new companies come from, Singapore-based company, right? Uh, car track. Then they ask about the skill set. You can see here. Then you can see no year of password, no percentage, right? Then there is a salary. Things are mentioned here. And bond, everything, right? How the interview is going to happen. And then it's a remote work. Recently this well, almost all the companies are resumed to work. This company still prefers to work from home. And then there's a deadline given. That's an application, right? You can see the entire information is given. And in case if you want to go and check the company, you can go click the website, see what this company is doing. What is the platform, what is the solution? As I mentioned, contact us where and all they have their products and solutions running, right? Everything is given here. So you can see, right? This is one of the core companies. They're into vehicle track management, etc. Right? Fleet management or tracking, etc. Right? You can go through this. Okay. And as I told in the beginning, if something is not comfortable, you don't need to apply. Okay, not every there's no force on any of the Emerging student, right? But once you apply and you get selected, you have to join. Okay, and you cannot come back and tell in the last minute, no, sir, this is not okay with me, that's not okay with me, right? You cannot do this, right? In case if you are doing that, you will be blacklisted. Okay, point number one. Point number two is, as you saw in the group, we communicate your interview schedule, your interview written test schedule well in advance. Okay, and you are supposed to attend the interview without fail, or written test for that matter. Okay. In case you are not able to attend, you need to inform us at least 24 hours before, so that we can tell the company. Okay. Yes, if they call 10 students, one student doesn't come for the interview due to some unforeseen circumstances, that's fine. Okay. But imagine they call 10 people and two of you attend interview, that again looks bad on us, right? Every step is a trust building with the company. Please understand that, right? And often what happens is students are taking this for granted. Okay, and they all tell, suppose 2 o'clock is the interview and 1:50 they call and say, my grandfather died. Grandfather, poor grandfather, after joining Emerging, grandfather dies 4 times. We all have two grandfathers, right? They die 4 times. I don't know how, right? So these type of things putting us in a very difficult situation. So sometimes our placement team will even ask for proof. And they say, I met with an accident. You say, okay, give me your medical record, right? We don't have a choice, because many students are taking us for granted, right? So if you are not able to produce a document, or if you're not able to show up, you'll be blacklisted. Condition number two. Okay. And all the data that you are telling, be it your year of password, your CGPA, your percentage, your year of password, your previous work experience, we completely trust you. Okay. Even though we do have some initial document verification and all, we cannot do every company every day. You saw, right? So many mails, so many drives happen every day. We don't have time to verify every other data, right? So in case after you get selected, the companies are finding that there is a data mismatch, right? Whatever you said and whatever you produce the document, right? The documents are not okay. They will take it seriously, and we are not responsible for that. Okay. So point number 3. Point number 4, our mentors put a lot of effort conducting these mock interviews and preparation sessions. If you are absent for any preparation session or mock interview, again, without getting a pre-approved before 24 hours, you'll be blacklisted. Okay. And once you are blacklisted, you will be barred from attending further placements. Again, please note, these are all, we have kept it as a merit for all of us, our relationship with companies, and ensuring that other students are also getting opportunity, etc. Okay. And once you can attend your class labs, you can go and get certification, no problem, but you will not be allowed to attend further placements, and we are very strict about it. Okay. What I see, very few students get into this kind of loop. They then bring parents, uncle, they do all sort of emotional drama. We don't buy into that. Okay. So please be very clear, be responsible, and I don't want any of you to get into this trouble. Okay. Hope this is clear, guys. Can you just confirm once? That's why I'm spending a lot of time and double confirming with all of you. Yeah, are you clear with the placement blacklisting? Okay. Durga is telling yes. I want some more yeses. Okay. So please don't get into this. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let me move on. We're kind of closing the presentation. I think the FAQs we already discussed. How long you will get opportunity? Can I choose between 2 job offers? Should I apply to all companies? What type of companies are hiring? Internal shortlisting, external shortlisting. How can I get more shortlisting? You perform well, you'll be in the top in the green zone. You'll get more shortlisting. Right? That's all the facts. And finally, as I said, we'll move on to the certification. So as I said, we are partner with Skill India, where the Skill India initiative is driven by NSDC, and the certification is provided by an organization called Electronic Sector Skill Council of India. So let me quickly show you. You already saw the certification application, right? Here you can see. So this is a certificate what comes from Skill India or the central government. As you can see, this is ever since the Modi's government has come in center, they have integrated. There are a lot of skill building initiatives happening previously also, but they integrated and brought it under ministry called Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Right, it comes from the central government, and the Skill India, NSDC, and ESSC. You can see all the logos there. Your name will be put in there, and then there's a QR code for validation. And we also put our institute name and our signature and give it to you, right? And there's a mandate from NSDC that this should be given in form of a hard copy, right? So our team will take a printout of it, print it in a glossy sheet, laminate it, and then it will courier to your home address. Okay. So this is what this additional advantage. From Emertxe side, time to time we keep giving our certificate also, no problem. Okay. So this is an additional opportunity for you to get into a Skill India, Government of India certification. So let us move on to the last slide now, last but one slide. Okay. Do's and don'ts. I think we already discussed. Be regular with your classes, don't bunk. Follow what mentors are telling, because it's a system driven. We have seen so many success stories, and mentors also will be reaching out to you for feedback, right? So that way, if you have any concerns, discuss with them. Don't attack them personally and get into any arguments. We are all here to improve ourselves also. We are not telling we are perfect. There are so many things where we can do much better, right? And discuss. One key thing, especially for online students, I recommend is, if you're on offline, if you're coming here, right, you can see I'm sitting in a room. There are 4 floors in which we operate. You can go and see the mentor physically, meet our placement manager physically, student success manager physically, right? Since you're remotely studying, right, it's important that you communicate, and there is a well defined communication channels are there. I'll show in the next slide. Okay. Continuously improve. Okay. It's not necessary that when you start the module, all of a sudden you will be able to do all the assignments. Some of you may be a little slow, some of them will be learning in little medium pace. Take it one step at a time. Okay, and improve in a step-by-step manner. Learn from peers and classmates. We strongly encourage that. That's why I asked you to introduce each other to you people more than me, right? So that you can be together, and who knows, right? A good number of you can be ended up in the same company also. That's quite normal in emergency, right? What are the don'ts? Missing classes, strictly no, because it's a hands-on classes. If you miss something, it's not like a theory class where you can make it up, right? Get your friends notes and you can make it up. If you miss a practical session, means you really miss it, right? Don't assume many things, right? Because sometimes people spread rumors saying that, this batch placement is not happening, this type of students are not getting placed, etc. Don't get into that. If you have any doubt, reach out to us, and we have data points, right? We have data points. We have a lot of Excel sheets with us. I know we will be able to explain you things with the statistics, right? And don't show any negative behavior or a unhealthy argument. If you have any concerns, raise it up. Let us resolve it in a very professional manner. Okay. These are some of the action items. You'll be added into the Google groups, and then the LMS also they will be creating a login automatically, right? And then you since you are an online student, you'll be using laptop or desktop. We'll be helping you to install Linux because a lot of our courses taught in the Linux based, right? So you in fact your first practical will start with installing Linux itself. Okay. This is one very important slide. Can you all of you take a screenshot and then confirm yes, then I will explain. Go ahead, take a screenshot of this slide and then confirm, put a yes in the window, then I will explain further. Go ahead, guys. Okay, Durga is very fast. Kajal, Ruba. Okay, all right. Okay, so you can see there are three support lines for you guys. One is an administration support line. Typically, that is used for your fees, fee receipts, right? And then you have some kind of what do you call installments, etc., etc. So you need to talk to Ms. Azma or Mr. Ajay, and that's a phone number and the email ID is given there. Okay. And once you start working on it, the student affair, the student success team comes into picture. Mr. Kavyashree is there. You can reach out to her in writing a support at Emertxe, and then the phone number is given. And of course, once the placement starts, you'll be interfacing with Mr. Lokesh, who is our placements manager. His email ID is given, placements at Emertxe, and then there's a phone number, right? So they are reachable. They're quite responsive. Okay, you can mail them, call them, WhatsApp them, SMS them, whatever you want. It's fine with us, right? Ensure that you communicate well. As I said, it's very very challenging being an online student. You are remotely located all parts of the country. That's why I asked you to introduce, right? We are pretty much, and some of you are outside India also. So please ensure you have a regular communication through these support people, so that you're not alone. That's what I'm trying to say. The entire mentoring team is here, and then these support interface person also there. In case if they're not able to clarify, they'll go and talk to corresponding mentor or corresponding placement team and then clarify. Okay, so please take advantage of this by communicating regularly and also ahead of time. Okay. So that's pretty much is what we have for today, guys. And if you're in Bangalore, please do visit us. We are based out of MG Road, and then we are quite active in LinkedIn. Are you on Instagram? Are you because some of you said social media? Can you just confirm if you are following us on social media? Anyone, LinkedIn or Instagram? Can you just confirm? In case if you can type which social media you are following us, also it will be helpful. Yeah, Durga is telling Instagram because I see a lot of people are in Instagram. LinkedIn says Jyoti. Okay. Let me see if others are following. YouTube says funny. Okay, great. Okay, Instagram. Okay, LinkedIn says Tausif. Any one channel, if you're subscribed, if you're following us, that's great. In case if you're not, please do subscribe to this channel. Okay, Sudarshan is telling both. Okay, cool, no problem. Okay. So now let me tell you your next steps. Give me a minute. I'll stop the screen sharing, and my team has given me a note. Let me get that note and share it with you. And also, some of you said you're not joined the WhatsApp group yet, right? So let me also share you with our WhatsApp. So let me put in the chat window. So that's a plan for you guys. Today induction session is scheduled from 11:30 to 1:30. We're just finishing that up. And LS module will start from Thursday, that is tomorrow. You can use the same link. Okay, today whatever link, go to meeting link you used, use the same link. Your class timing is from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So tomorrow you need to join by 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Labs will be from 11:45 to 1:30. There's a 15 minutes break. They give just to fresh yourself and then rejoin. For first few days there won't be any lab because the mentor they just do the installation and then they'll give you some break because the class mentor has to cover enough material for you to start the lab. Maybe a few days later the labs also will start. Okay, since some of you said you are not part of the Google group, sorry, WhatsApp group. Okay, I just shared the WhatsApp group joining link in the window. Okay, you can just join that in case if you're not joined. Okay, so all right guys, Google group will be automatically added, Durga. There's nothing for you to join, they'll automatically add you. Give us a few days because there may be few more students will be taking admissions, right? They just add it to it'll be automatically added. Okay. So with that note, I would like all of you to welcome to our online embedded systems course. So hope this session gave you an idea about placements, course delivery, support, whom to contact when, and how things are moving, and how you can plan yourself in the next 6 months. I would request all of you to stay focused. That's very important in the next 5 to 6 months, and give your 100%. Right, you may be a little slow in the beginning. Give your 100%. Then the success will automatically come to you. Okay. I'm seeing a question from, so any laptop specification that should have, not necessarily Sudarshan, because the any reasonable laptop configuration will do. We don't have any recommended one. Whatever the decent one, any i3, i5 should be good enough. Okay, if you have i7, that's great. Anyways, our the installation session will be taken by our system administrator, who helps in the installation class. You can ask him also in case he has got any space. I don't think so. Any reasonable configuration laptop or desktop will be more than enough. Again, even the other things which you install, the Pixim Lab and Chemu, etc., or even MPLab ID, they're not very heavyweight softwares. They're very lightweight open source that will work in any of the decent configuration laptop or desktop. Okay. All right, folks. Any other questions? Hope you are able to get an idea. Okay, can I get some feedback? How did you find today's induction class? Did it give you the necessary information? Please go on and type some feedback. How did you find today's session? Did you give you better clarity, better hope? Did you get a better idea technically, placement wise, support wise? Then Anand is telling, good sir. Then Sultan is telling, the class was very informative. Thank you, sir. Natya is telling, good, we brought up better clarity. Thank you, sir. Sandeep is telling, good, sir. Ashwini is saying, thank you for explaining all the things in detail. Cannot wait to start learning. Great. Good to see that. Good, sir. Thank you, says Mega. And anyways, I meet you guys once in a month in the monthly placement meeting where we take very month specific data, right? And then discuss. Durga is telling amazing, thank you. Then Kajal is telling great, sir. Thank you, sir. Very informative. Says Anjali, got a clear idea, having a lot of hope, says Gauri. The session was very important to get a better clarity of things and culture at Emerge. Pretty happy to choose Emerge and learn, says Rohit. Thank you for clearing things, as is Tausif. Okay, my pleasure, guys. And as I said, this is just a beginning. Okay, this is this that we are getting started off from today. You have a long way to go in terms of learning, and our team is there. Don't need to worry. We're not alone. We have a team of mentors. We have a team of placements, support, student success team, and we there from the management side will support you and do our level best and ensure that you are learning well, and also you're given necessary opportunities to crack the interviews and achieve placements by doing additional coaching, etc. Right, whatever is there, I tell in all my induction. Let me tell in this induction also, right? Your success is our priority, right? Ensuring that each and every emergency student becoming successful is our number one priority, right? I would even say my team comes second, you guys comes first, right? Okay, because if we make you guys successful, definitely Emergee also will be successful. That's what, whatever the success we have achieved so far, it is mainly because the students are getting success in terms of getting into job. So that is why you guys will always be in our number one priority, right? We'll do our level best, and of course, if you have feedback, we are open to listen and improve. We're not perfect, right? As I said, we can do so many, we can do good in so many other things. We're trying to improve in many things, and we'll continue to do so. Okay. So with that note, I wish you guys all the very best. So please proceed with your classes and labs. And I will, anyways, today monthly meeting, you may not be able to join because even if you join, you may not be able to make sense. So hope to see all of you in the, July monthly meeting, month, exactly a month, probably down the line. Meet you guys and then get more specific. You should see in monthly meeting, it becomes a bullet, right? They'll ask very, very specific questions, right? What happened is, what happened, how to do it, right? We get into Q&A. And what is our goal, right? Clarify all your, clear your minds so that you are very much focused, and when you attack, you achieve placements. Okay. So thank you very much for all of you. I wish you all the very best. You all will do very well. I have complete confidence and faith on you. You are all very capable and smart kids. Okay. See you in the next monthly meeting. Take care. Okay. Bye.